Welcome. My name is Jeff, and this is the very first ever Rate and See podcast. It's the first podcast I've ever done. I brought some friends on so that I could basically talk at more length and get into more detail with the things I'm seeing in movies that come out and problems that I have and things that I like too. So the movie we talk about today is called How to Make a Killing. It's got Glenn Powell in it. Like most of the movies that I watch that come out nowadays, I found the logic atrocious, but what was cool was that it led me to watching the movie that it was based off of, and the comparison between these two movies is very fascinating to me because it perfectly exemplifies what is missing from movies today that didn't used to be. So I think you'll enjoy it. Sit back and listen to us have a lot of fun talking about these movies. Let me introduce you guys like they do because no one knows you.
Nobody know who the fuck you are. Let me let the people know.
I didn't mean like that, but do you want full government names?
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So my two good friends I've worked with for, what are we talking, like 3 years now?
Yeah, at least three.
Three or more. You, it's been the whole time. It's been 4 years now. Like literally just had the 4 year or whatever.
I hit 4 years in June, so yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself, say like whatever socials you want people to know or anything like that.
Okay.
Tell people what they should know about you.
Oh, what's up, guys? I'm Marcel Logan. I've worked with Jeff. Marcel Logan on all socials, on everything.
Dope. Terrell.
All right, my name's Terrell Thompson. I don't have any particular independent socials, but I have like one from like my trading company. It's at Join Legends Only if you want to check out my stuff there. I'm an actor in LA, and
look at him facing the camera and shit.
I do finances.
Look at him addressing the people.
Yes. Talk to him.
All right. The core premise. What did you think like of this story?
I thought the story. I didn't know what to expect. Actually, the movie was called The Bride. I didn't know what it was going to be about.
The Bride?
Yeah.
You saw The Bride?
Yes.
Oh. You watched the wrong movie, bro.
Are you being serious to me?
I'm being 100% serious. You literally watched the wrong movie.
Are you being serious?
I'm dead serious.
What was the name of the movie?
How to Make a Killing.
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
I'm not lying to you, dude.
Where did I get The Bride from?
Because it was the choice between the two, and then we went with How to Make a Killing.
Oh my!
Well, that's hilarious.
And you had an extra week.
I was really confused by that core premise thing. I said, I don't get how that ties into the film.
Terrell, I guess we're just going to be describing this movie to Marcel this entire time.
Well, wait a minute. You did say How to Be a Killing on Wednesday. Let's say noon.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That's crazy. All right, you're just going to be riding shotgun for this conversation.
I'm just going to feel it through.
Me and Terrell have about this movie. So,
How to Make a Killing. Oh, yeah. So how was it, guys? I don't know anything about that movie either.
I'll say my natural reaction, or I don't know, temperament, how I feel about it.
As far as give the story a grade from 1 to 10.
I will say the plot definitely had holes. I think the acting was good, but I don't think the story.
Give me a grade.
I think the story was dry. And
did you buy into it? Did you buy into this story?
Until the end. I was willing to go with the story until the way they wrapped it up. And I was just like, because I feel like as I'm watching something, I'll give it the fair chance of let's see where we're going or where you're going to take this. But then when they wrapped it up, I just was like, all right. And then there was a point where I was kind of like, hey, let's wrap this up.
Mm-hmm. So this story was so horrendous to me that it sent me on a rabbit hole to find out just how they could put out something that made so little sense. And I saw that, of course, this is based off of a movie from 1949. So the premise of this is basically a dude knows that he's the heir to this mass fortune, like billions of dollars, and his mom got like exiled from the family, and the only thing standing between him and inheriting everything is like his 8 family members ahead of him. So all he has to do is kill these 8 family members, and then he gets all that money. Is getting away with murder easy or something? Is this like, is that like something that we would assume someone would be able to do, like plan 8 perfect murders and not have anybody figure out what he's doing and there'd be no evidence or anything? So of course, like in today, that makes no sense. But the story is based on being in 1907 Great Britain, where he's like a duke. And this is
The original one.
Yeah. So like, and even in 1949, they knew you don't set it in 1949 because even then they'd be like, well, that's ridiculous.
They just write it off.
But like the fact that they just think like, oh, we'll just like put this in present day. And like, no one, like.
Oh, it's set in present day, like 2020.
It's set in 2025
Okay.
Yeah.
that this dude will commit 8 murders, like all billionaires. He'll murder 8 like heirs to a prestigious billionaire family, and like social media won't talk about it. Like DNA evidence won't implicate
plot
him.
holes.
Yeah, like the most plot holes.
I'll give him the first murder.
Oh, and also he's supposed to be a duke. So like, or like his family is supposed to be like dukes. So that made a lot more sense too, because like, we'll get to it at the end. There's parts that just like did not align. And then once you know what they based it off of, you're like, oh, that's why they did that. I'm going to assume you didn't do the extra credit.
I didn't do the extra credit.
So this movie,
At least you watched the movie.
Yeah.
the original movie, I'm just thinking like, why didn't they just literally remake that movie? Like word for word, line
Copy
for line.
paste.
Because like, bro, the writing is so good. Let me play a clip. And like, so this movie had one of the most famous lines in movie history.
Really?
That you wouldn't even know is from this movie.
We know the line?
You know the line. You have both heard the line.
Okay, I hope I know this line.
I promise you do.
Time had brought me revenge on Lionel. And as the Italian proverb says, revenge is a dish which people of taste prefer to eat cold.
You've heard that, right?
I've heard like iterations of it.
Yeah. So it got adapted into Star Trek.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
revenge is a dish best served
served
cold.
cold.
And they said it was like an
Yeah.
old Klingon proverb. And then they put that at the beginning of Kill Bill.
Oh, shit.
And so seeing it in this movie actually like changed.
That's the origin.
It changed how I actually perceive what the saying means. When I heard it before, you'd think like it means like it's better to like, plan a murder than like just like do it immediately out of rage or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it was applied to this, it made me realize that he means that like in like upper elite societies, like when somebody wrongs you, you hold on to it. You let time march on to the point where you would think everyone will think that it didn't matter to you and they've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And then like when you have the perfect moment when they really need you and like they think like, oh no one would hold on to it for that long, or like,
That's when you strike.
they don't hate me. It's been so many years. Then you pull it out. So it's like the revenge, it's been there for so long that it's cold. You get like real petty with it. You hold on to it like distant into the future. And then like when they need your help, you're like, oh, remember 20 years ago? This motherfucker pissed me off. So it starts with him in jail on death row.
Okay.
And
Why the priest piss you off?
I'll tell you exactly why the priest pissed me off. I'll tell you exactly why the priest pissed me
I'm
off.
tired of this corrupt church.
So like he's like, it says he's gonna get like put to death in like 8 hours or whatever. And this priest walks in, and the second he walked in, I knew he's gonna be one of these bullshit characters that his only purpose in this movie is for somebody to just tell him the story of what happened. Like this man has no other purpose but to have like, is there a term for when like people get shit on like for fun or like,
Like you're the
There
butt
probably
of the
is
joke? Like the butt of the joke?
like bukkake, but
Yeah. There's got to be a term.
well, whatever. Like
Whatever's
I
going on
hate
in Dubai.
characters that exist just to get exposition dumped on. It's like he walks in and he's just like, so I'm the priest. I'm, like, what do you want to say to me? And he's like, oh, how about I like tell you the story where it all started? And then the rest of the movie, he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like
Yeah.
this character has no motivations. This character has like no goals. He's just there
To help move
to
the
be a
plot.
writing device. And then when you watch the original, there is no priest at the beginning. He's writing down his memoirs.
And then that's how they start.
And that's how the story is told.
Got you.
Meaning, like, he's meaningless. He doesn't even need to exist in this story. There's no point for him.
No, but I guess overall, if you're on death row, you do go see the priest. You know what I'm saying? To like,
So the priest
forgive
in the
your
original
sins.
story is there at the end.
Yes.
But like his lines that they like manufacture for him, like the interaction is like, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It doesn't he doesn't like at the end, the priest does come and he starts rambling. And that's actually what gives him just enough time to like escape and like get away. So basically what happens is like he says when he was a kid, his mom, like, super, super rich, she gets knocked up.
Who you're going with?
She bangs some like cello player at a party, like, and then like her dad's like, well, like,
Yeah, let this guy
Get
go.
rid of it.
you gotta get rid of it. And she's like, no. And he's like, okay, well then you gone. But like, my problem is like, what is her motivation? Like, what do you think her motivation was?
I thought she wanted to keep the kid.
Why does she want to keep the kid? Is it religious? Is it because she's in love with the guy?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
As a movie, like,
Yeah.
and we're trying to empathize with this character,
Yeah.
we should know like what their disposition is, right?
I
The
just
sense
assumed
of,
she
like,
was pro-life.
Yeah, but like they don't ever tell you anything. Like
Yeah, they didn't tell us,
It's
yeah.
like she never says anything about like really religion, and he
Yeah.
never says anything about religion. Like
Yeah.
you'd think like if that were the case, then when he's being brought up, like religion would be like a part of his life, and he'd be like talking about religion, and like he's almost like blasphemous with the priest.
Wait, so her keeping the baby is not justified.
No.
No.
And in the original, it's not her getting pregnant. She falls in love with somebody and gets kicked out because she's not allowed to like have a relationship with somebody below their class. And then they skip the whole part where like she is like they say that like she was in love but happy with him for 5 years before she had a kid. So they take away like the really strong like motivation that like anybody be able to empathize with of like, yeah, if you like fell in love with somebody and then your parents said like oh you can't
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
be with this person, and you're like, all right, fuck you.
I guess
Like
because,
I'd rather be poor and in love than like rich and cold and like shackled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess nowadays I feel like that it's it's already a strong topic of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Abortion, no abortion. You know what I'm saying? Not that it wasn't in the original time period, but I feel like maybe that was the message from the screenwriters.
I don't know if they had abortion back then.
Not legally, probably not.
I
Yeah.
don't even think they had a clinic.
They had abortion. They wrote about abortion in the Bible.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's instructions on how to give abortion in the Bible.
I did not know that.
She does like you don't even have a moment where she talks about like how important being a mother is to her. Like there's no like you have no time to like feel what she's feeling. You just see that she got pregnant and she's like, well, I don't want to. So basically, to recap what happens in this movie, after Glenn Powell's mom like leaves her family to have him, the dad dies like right as she's giving birth to him.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets raised by a single mother. She was doing her thing, but then, she also told him that like he could inherit all this money, and then like she passes away, and that like the only thing really is that like she, like when she's like about to pass away, she says, like something was taken from you, just promise that you'll do something with your life. Like,
Yeah.
promise you'll do something.
Yeah.
And like, I still don't understand why he wants to like that would be enough to make him kill all these people. Like,
Did you count that as planting of the seed, or did you take the scene where the girl he liked planted the seed?
so it's those two things on top
Okay.
of each other. And like basically they show that like after his mom died, he like went to the house and like basically like tried to like come back to the family, and they like put out like just had the butler bring a note that just said like, "Nah, we're good."
I wasn't buying that
he's
part.
bad.
I will tell you the truth. I was not buying that part.
Like that part was stupid. And of course, in the original movie, like it's so much deeper because in the original movie, after the dad dies, the mom tries to get back into the family with him and writes them all these letters, and they say no. And like once he's like growing up, they like, you know, like, or like she like also tries to like write a like letter to the uncle, like to like make sure that he can get a good job. Nobody says anything back to her. They give her the cold shoulder. And it shows that the mom like still taught him that they were better than all of the regular people, that like essentially they were of a higher class. And the whole reason that he becomes close with Margaret Qualley's character, that girl, is because in the movie, he says that she is the only people, or the only kids that his mom would allow him to play with, because her dad was a doctor. And like, so he could only play with her and her brother. And that's why he got so close with her. Whereas in the Glenn Powell movie, it's just like, she's just this hot girl she saw at archery, and like,
Got you.
Yeah.
he knew she had money, so he's like, oh, I like that, like, you know. But like all those little details
Was not as fleshed
just
out.
washed
Yeah.
away from this. It's basically just like she has that one line where she's like, something was taken from you.
I don't remember, but did they say why the mom, like what killed the mom, or like what she passed away from?
No.
I think
Yeah.
it was just a random terminal.
She just died.
She just literally just died.
Yeah. And then he says like, I know they could have done something, but they didn't.
To save his mother?
Yeah. But it's just like, how do you know that? Like, how do you even know that they knew?
His intuition.
Yeah, right? It's just
Yeah.
all just like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll take your word for it, bro. Like,
We know something's wrong with mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
you just know.
God forbid you just like write something more concrete in that in the movie.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah, I think that was the part that got me too, because I didn't even know why his mom died, and maybe I'm wrong because maybe I just don't remember. But I was pretty sure they didn't say like what led to that. I was like,
yeah. So
was
also
it stress?
like,
She
yeah.
worked at the DMV. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and also in the OG movie, like instead of her working, they had to like take on a lodger. So they like you know, they had to have people like live with them, and that's how they got money. And also like in both movies, he works at like a suit store, and like in the original movie, like one of the lodgers got him the job at the suit store. And,
They
Really showing the struggle. Really
In
showing
the
Yeah,
original
and-
version, they weave it together. It's more
yeah,
plotted.
and like, you know, it kind of tells you like in the original version, like, you know, like his options are so limited, you know, because it's 1907, like, you know, like you
Yeah.
can only get anywhere with connections.
Yeah.
yeah.
So his hands were essentially tied. It's like either kill
Yeah.
these people, get that money, or
Yeah,
you're poor.
exactly. It's like, and there's all these other little details, like, so they have the big family tree where he's like Xing out the people.
Yeah.
And they also like keep showing this like painting of the house that like the family lives in. They do that in both. And what was so cool in the original was in the original, the family tree is on the back of that painting. So it's like every time he's looking at that painting, he turns the painting over and like X's another person out of the family tree, like that, like he's taken out or killed or whatever. And they've just like eliminated that detail from the new movie, which is just like,
They just showed us the
Oh,
family.
that's cool though.
they just show the
Yeah.
painting, but like they get rid of like the family tree that he's actually like tracking and like writing on and stuff.
They show it to us to just show it to us. Basically, like
They
they just
it's like, yeah, like a cutaway of like
or
a graphic.
like almost like a not Final Cut, like a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they kind of just show it to you as the movie's going, like so you don't forget, kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just like
Yeah.
it's just a cool detail to
Yeah.
know that like every time he's looking at that painting, he's like thinking about the family tree on the
Yeah.
other side
Yeah.
and like all the people that would die. There's also a really funny part in the original one where he's like, because like in both of them, he's like kind of like following along throughout his life to like keep track of like who's alive, who's dead, and like he like they make a remark where he's like I was really upset when I saw that like one of my cousins had twins, but then it all worked out because they both got cholera and died. And it took out the
Damn.
mom. So
Oh,
like,
shit.
so
He
he's
said
like,
a
so he's like,
2-1.
so that was like a triple whammy. That was a good day for me.
Yeah.
So it's like they bake so much more of his like festering anger towards the family into that movie. And not only that, but there's like a really good moment where like he has to pay to take a tour of his family's house. And that like really pissed him off. Like, you know, the fact that like this should be mine, but I literally like have to pay money.
Do you feel like Glenn Powell has some of that same character accents as the first version?
Not at
In terms
all.
of like the depth and like okay,
I don't know. Not
and
at
that
all.
backstory.
So
no.
the first one's more of a revenge story,
The-
like some County Monte Cristo shit.
Yeah, kind of, but it's also more just like, you know, he was like he was just like poisoned to feel like it's so much more like on the psychology of it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the fact
You
like
connect.
his mom like conditioned him to have these like feelings of hatred against the family and also to just like inherently feel like he was better than other people and that like this was some like, you know, this was something he deserved. This is and then so also what happens in the original movie, and this was one of the parts that really pissed me off in the new movie, was that like in the original movie, the Margaret Qualley character, after his mom dies, he moves in with her and her family. And like, so his entire life, he's with this girl, and of course, like, is in love with her. She, you know, back then, you're only probably going to get the girls that are within, like, 100 feet of you.
Yeah.
Because where the fuck are you going to go? There's no Tinder.
There's no Tinder, I was going to say.
Yeah. So, like that relationship makes sense. Like, it's understandable, like, why he would be so obsessed with her. In the new movie, it basically says that, like, he's, like, once his mom died when he was, like, younger, he, like, very sporadically saw her and then basically didn't see her for, like, probably, like, 10, 15 years. And then one day she just, like, walks in.
Magically.
She just walks into his, like, the suit shop that he's working in. And, he's like, oh, can I get your number? She's like, oh, I'm married. It's like, of course, like,
Yeah.
this long shot.
Yeah.
So, like, that their whole, like, like, him, like, being so, like, obsessed with her, like, makes no sense in the new movie. Because it's been 15 years, like, or, like 20 years. Like, you haven't, like, pursued anything else. Like, you have no reason to be in love with her. You kissed her once when you were 6 or 7. Like, get the fuck over it.
Like, I was thinking about it as you were talking just now, and I was like, I just felt very neutral about the film originally, but, like, now that I'm hearing you explain more, I was like, yeah, they really didn't have any stakes to this film.
Yes.
It has no stakes. There's no real reason for this.
Yes.
He didn't have to kill these people. There was nothing on the
come
line.
further into the dark side.
Yeah. I was like, this girl was random. And then he met another girl anyway. So what difference did it make? I was like, well, I guess when he met the other girl, then he already had killed a few people.
So in the original one,
Yeah.
he, like, literally, like, professes his love for her. And she says, oh, no, like, this dude that you hate, like, just asked, for my hand in marriage. And I'm going to marry him because, like, he got money and you don't.
Yeah.
And so, like, so those two things are, like, really what, like, it's like, oh, like, not only, like, have I been, like, brainwashed my whole life to, like, be told that, like, I got, like, fucked over out of this, and, like, these people have, like, actively ignored my mom her entire life and she died because of it. Like, and this girl that, like, I have to live with, now I have to watch her marry another dude that I hate, is just turned into, like, she requested at the very end to be, like, be buried in like the family burial plot. They said no, and then he, like, walked through the gate and they were like, no.
Well, I guess they're just going with the, long lost high school sweethearts, that trope.
There's also, like, no reason because, like, they couldn't even show, like, shots of him, like, following her on social media. Like, they couldn't even show them, like, texting each other.
Yeah,
like, it's just the lack of effort.
Yeah.
The lack of effort to, like, give us a reason to empathize with this character.
Yeah, especially to show a true modern day relationship.
Yeah, like, they could be chatting. Like, he's, like, liking all the bikini pics and shit. Like,
just something.
And that would have
give us something.
You think that would have helped, like, add to the
It would have made it way more understandable why he's, like, all of a sudden crushed that he can't have her when he hasn't seen her or spoken to her in, like, over a decade.
What if that's his first love? The first
No,
love
it is his first love.
Yeah, the first girl you kiss, like that.
They just did it too nonchalant.
But also it shows that he hasn't even been trying to follow her on social. He didn't even know she was married. Like, if he's obsessed with her, like,
so if he was really obsessed with her,
if he's obsessed with her, you think you're following the accounts or something.
Yes.
Time out. I'm okay with films not having social, even if it is present day.
They just pretend it doesn't exist?
I'm okay with that. But I was going to ask, in the movie, did they show socials? Because I think they showed it for him finding his cousin that was an artist. I think he found him on social media.
Maybe.
So then I would say that actually probably enhances your point because if
once
he's already...
once you enter it into the universe.
Then you got to use it.
Yeah.
Because that
like
means...
how we use it.
Yeah. But I'm okay if they don't mention it at all. But if you do mention it...
Yeah, but can you imagine, like, in the 60s, like, they're watching a movie and, like, the plot relies on telephones not existing?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like,
or like when the radio was invented, people were not listening to the radio. Who was doing that?
Oh, he shot my husband. How will I tell the next person he's gonna kill? Like, if only there was a way for me to communicate with this person that's a long distance away. But there isn't. I can't.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Like,
but I would say for the social media, like, as far as me not using social media to the maximum extent of what I should be using it for, I'm like, some people don't be checking. So that's why I was like, it's okay to not have it. But if you do use it, then you got to use it.
Yeah. But some people don't be on it.
Yeah, some people don't be on it. And that's okay. But if you're using it, and you used it to find somebody to kill them, then you could have been using it to find this girl.
If he was willing to kill for her, he would be gooning over her. Like you do something.
Not gooning.
Yeah.
He's willing to kill 8 people.
Yeah.
He would attempt to.
I don't even know if that was originally the motivation. To be honest, I don't know if that was even the motivation. Was he trying to kill for her? Because then he met that other girl, and then I was like, "What's going on here?"
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I thought he was killing for the money.
We'll get there. It's both. It's supposed to be both.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just too loose.
complex,
It's
very
loosely.
So the third thing, the last thing that pushes him over the edge in this movie, is that he loses his job at the suit store, despite being an amazing employee, because like they're they're giving the job of like, I don't know, random retail suit salesman to like the owner's son.
Yeah.
And the only other job for him is like back in Jersey at the warehouse. And that's like the last straw where he's like, okay, now I have to start like murdering my family. And I'm just thinking like, why don't you just work at another suit store? It's Manhattan. Yeah. There's a million of them. If you're a good employee and your boss will give you like a good recommendation, like what is stopping you from just getting how many suit stores in Manhattan are there?
I mean, I guess what's stopping him is that he knows in the back of his mind his family members got that money.
But so in the original, the reason he loses his job, which again, much harder job to come by, 1907, he could only get that job because he had an in with a lodger, is because the first cousin that he kills comes in and like he's cheating on his wife and he's talking about like, like where they're going to like, hang out over the weekend. And he like is kind of like listening and the dude just like like reams him for like, like listening to his conversation or just like chews him out. And like, he doesn't like that. So he like kind of like talks back and then the dude gets him fired.
Got you.
Yeah.
So in the original, you've got all these things like this family member, like it feels like kismet in the original one. It feels like fate that this dude that like, is part of this family happens to be this dude that walks in, gets him fired. Now he can't get another job because you've pissed off like a wealthy person and you're not going to get a reference. Like you probably won't be able to work at any suit store because
it's 1907.
Yeah.
It's 1907. This dude's like just under royalty, like, the family. And that's what pushes him over the edge, which again, it's like there's so much more logic and reason and motivation.
The stakes are there.
And they've just gutted all of these things, all of these character motivation like things.
And replaced it with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slowly, like.
The length of the film of the original one is
same exact length.
Same exact length?
Same exact length.
All right, then there's no excuse.
That
was my only thing. I was like, well, maybe it's a longer film.
Shorter,
Same exact length between the two movies.
Yeah, then that's crazy.
Yep.
Because then if they were able to fit it, then you could fit it.
Yep.
You could have copy and paste bar for bar.
So now's when the killing starts, and the first like cousin who is, when I watch this movie, I'm like, this dude is clearly 10 years younger than Glenn Powell, but like he's supposed to be a year older than him. I like it's so.
Oh, he's supposed to be a year older?
Because like think if you're not going to kill people that are younger than you to get inheritance. It's the oldest person. So everyone that's in line has to be older than him.
I thought it was because I remember they showed the dates, and I think he was born in 92, but I don't know if they showed what Glenn Powell's date was.
93.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's supposed to be 1 year old. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, instead of being somebody who he actually met and like like pissed him off, he's this random like finance bro who just does random finance bro things. I also hate this. I hate when they do shit just because they think like it looks crazy and wild and people be like, oh, that's crazy and wild. Like it opens with him like basically like in the Hamptons, like he's in a helicopter. He pulls up to a party in a helicopter, like opens like a duffel bag full of money and just shouts like, yeah, you fucking poor people, and like jumps in this pool and then like everybody loves it. They're like, oh my God, you're so rich. They're crazy.
So rich people do, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Like, helicopters
cool.
and duffel bags of money, yeah.
But also I'm thinking, how the fuck does he know where this guy is? How did you followed him in a helicopter?
I guess the
he
social
pulled up to a Hamptons party in a helicopter. Like, how did you know where he was going?
He just said he said
he's easy to find.
He said he was easy to find because he's like in the finance world. Everybody knows. That was pretty much all they told us. That was it.
That's it. So even though he couldn't even follow him in a car, he left in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like again, all solved if he's just following them on social media. Makes him look like he has intelligence or like, is doing something to actually move the plot along. And like, how does he get into this party? We don't know. He could just walk in.
He did just walk in.
He's Glenn Powell. If he puts on a baseball cap, he's like, he's in.
That was pretty much what he did,
though.
He walked in with a baseball cap on. That was it.
Listen to the world.
And then...
He's a white man.
And then the dude leaves the party to go to his yacht on a jet ski. And then Glenn Powell's like, oh, great, he's alone. It's like, one, no, he's not alone. He's on a yacht with a bunch of other people. And Glenn Powell pulls up to this yacht in his own jet ski. Where the fuck did he get a fucking jet ski from all of a sudden? Yeah. I don't know. Does the movie show him even stealing a jet ski? No, it's Glenn Powell. He could just get a jet ski wherever he wants.
Yeah.
And then, luckily, everybody on the yacht's asleep.
Yeah, they're all like drinking and...
They're all passed out.
Passed out.
So it's like, great. Your expert plan revolved around like you being able to follow a helicopter, you being able to get into this party, you being able to find a jet ski with nobody looking for it, you being able to pull up to a yacht on a jet ski with nobody looking in any direction, and you boarding this yacht with everybody being incapacitated.
Just divine intervention they're going with. Yeah.
And of course, in the original, he knows where they're going to be because when they were in the suit shop, he was talking about where he was going to take his mistress to bang her.
Yeah. Just way more fleshed out.
Just way more fleshed out,
Yeah.
I gave him the first kill, though. Even though it had holes in it, I just was like, this is the start of the movie. This can happen. I was
believed it.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? This guy's partying. He's drunk. He's on drugs, whatever. And, like, I was like, this first kill, this could be okay. What I didn't buy was the escape part because I was like, okay, this man went off. No one woke up. Nobody heard anything. And he kind of just, like, jet skied off into the sunset.
Yeah, like,
he could with a gun?
No. The anchor is there with a big rope attached to it.
Okay.
And the dude, like, the passed out dude's like, drop the anchor, the fucking cousin. And so he ties the anchor around his ankle and drops the anchor, and it pulls him under. And you know what I did when I got home? I researched, how long have automatic anchors been standard on yachts? 30 years. No one has had a manual anchor on a yacht for 30 years.
Yeah. That's...
and it's been present time, so then I was like, yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, what rich person has to carry their anchor on their yacht, like, attached to a rope that's just, like, strewn about all over?
Because they're not going to do that themselves.
Yeah, because if you said this in 1990, there's probably...
Sure. That's 30
Actually,
years.
if you said this in 1990, this movie might be a hit.
Yeah.
Just set it in 1907. There's not.
Keep it the same way.
I like a good period piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, they're probably just trying to, like,
make it modern and get people to come see it.
Like I told Terrell, I immediately started liking the old movie because in the first 5 minutes, when he's in the prison cell, like, the executioner comes up, and he's just like, oh, like, what's his demeanor like? He's like, oh, he's actually, like, really chill. And the executioner was like, oh, thank God. He's like, these people be so rude, like, just, like, and moaning. It, like, makes my job hard. Yeah. And, like, I was like, that's funny. Like, an executioner who just, like...
Not here for the shit.
Yeah. He still wants to have good vibes.
and then after that, he's like, how do I address this guy? And he's like, my lord. And the executioner's like, okay, my lord. It's time, my lord. And it's, like, the fact that, like, he's worried about, like, making a faux pas in front of the guy he's going to kill. There's just, like, something very ironically funny about that. And, like, those moments in the first 5 minutes, more stimulating than the entire Glenn Powell movie.
I mean, you tell me how he starts writing the things in the memoir of the first movie. I said, oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Very film noir. Okay. So then, after that, he goes to the funeral for the first cousin. How does he get into a billionaire's funeral for a family that he's been excommunicated from? There's no reason.
Yeah.
Because in the original, he's not at that funeral because it follows logic and he has not been welcomed back into the family yet.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do they still post, like...
billionaires' funerals?
In the newspaper? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, do they post that in the newspaper? Like,
but he said the guy's easy to find, so when his death happened, I'm sure it's easy to find.
And it's just, like, open invite? Like, anybody could just walk into the funeral?
Wait.
Kobe's
Is it because he knew where the family's plot was?
There we go.
Well, no, but like, can anybody just roll up to a
funeral? It was never explained.
Wealthy people's funeral?
Yeah.
Hell, like, if that's the case, let's go find some wealthy funerals. We'll start networking.
Yeah.
Like,
I think funerals are open to the are they? I don't know.
Well, the cemetery is open to the public.
I've never tried to roll up on a funeral, so I don't know.
I don't know if you could roll up on a funeral.
I wouldn't, because I just feel like it's not something you do.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
It's very personal.
Yeah.
Very personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like the way
We're gonna be
it's-
like, hey, can I see?
Damn, that's tough.
That's crazy.
yeah, right. It's like, I
condolences,
just want to see
yeah.
what watch he got on.
yeah.
I just want to see what he meant to y'all.
That was your cousin?
They probably
All
have
right.
some food at the wake too.
Yeah,
Listen, you know I love a good repast.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Free food is.
So in this movie, the way that he gets back with the family is that like he sees the uncle at the funeral, the uncle that like owns his bank that he like, you know, like his mother tried to like hit up and like ignored, and then he's like, because it's his son that died first, and so the uncle like that's when he's just like, oh, you know, like we shouldn't have f***ed you over like that, like, and then he gets him like his son's job. He's like, you know, he's like, my son was working at the bank. He's like, but I you know what? Like, let's keep that position in the family. I'll give you the job that the one he killed.
Yes, and he tells him this at the funeral.
Like they go to a
No,
bar
they're at a
afterwards.
bar.
Oh,
no,
all
yeah.
right. Okay.
And then in the original, he writes him a letter. Basically, like he writes him a letter after his son dies. Like, hey, I saw that your son died.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really sorry. And that's kind of what like you
Makes
know,
the connection.
Yeah, and opens him up. Be like, damn, you know, like once death happened to me, I realized like that shit sucks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, you probably were upset when your mom died.
I mean, that does make more sense in a relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that scene, though, in the bar.
So the second cousin or whatever that he's got to kill.
I got a problem with this one.
I also have a problem with these roles where it's clear that they just cast somebody funny and are just like, just do funny shit like while
Yeah.
you're on camera.
Yeah.
Like they're just like relying on him to just like be like randomly funny and out of pocket, like for entertainment. Like it's not written. It's just like, you know, they cast improv people and they're just like, just improv.
Just do your thing.
Just do your thing.
Just do your thing.
He did do his thing, though.
Just cause.
So
He
Zach
did.
Woods is like this.
Yeah.
So he
He's,
did it, though.
he's
He
like
did
this
do
like
it.
pretentious like hipster artist or whatever. In the original, it's photography. And this is like the dawn of photography. So like nobody has cameras. So like he goes to like where he knows he's gonna be, like sets up a camera and he's like, oh yo, you like
It's legit.
yeah,
in
you
that time.
be like photoing. So this part I hope will piss you off because so in the original one, he has his dark room and he has this secret that he's hiding from his wife that he's like still drinking. So like, and maybe his photography hobby was like literally born just so he had a place to drink and hide from his wife and like go on like photography trips. So like the chemicals that he has in the dark room, like they're actually liquor. But that makes too much sense for this movie. So what they did for no reason was change it to, this is where Zach Woods goes to smoke cigarettes that he told his wife that he quit doing. So he always smokes cigarettes in the dark room. What's the problem with that? Cigarettes
Well,
f***ing smell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just because you're
First
going
thing I
into
thought.
another room doesn't mean that that room doesn't reek of cigarettes,
Or will
that
you
you
not.
don't
Yeah.
reek of cigarettes. And then like immediately in the movie, his wife rolls up right after they leave the room and he basically like has to confess like, yeah, I lit up. So it's like that whole part is pointless.
Yeah.
Has no serves no purpose to the movie at all anymore.
Also, a cigarette's not heroin.
And also,
Yeah.
smoking out a dark room ruins your photographs.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
you cannot just smoke out a dark room. It's like one of the like it's completely antithetical to this person being a photographer is smoke like using the dark room to smoke cigarettes in.
And a good photographer would know that, like, inherently.
Yeah.
Got you.
yeah.
yeah.
So they went and they just sucked all the logic out of that.
Yeah.
You know, made it stupid.
Were the killings interesting, though? Like, were he killing people, like, in a cool way?
I will say, yeah, he like
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
like the killing seemed like the anchor one I thought was stupid, but this one he like knew how to basically like put a chemical in his like developing chemicals that would like
They did explain this one.
that would cause like an explosion, and it's the same in the original.
Yeah.
Is that he did that?
My one problem with it was when they do the montage of them explaining him doing the killing.
Later, when he's doing all the different ones.
No, this one.
Oh, this one,
This
yeah.
one particularly. When they do this killing scene, and they show him about like how he's at the party and he slips away and like everything like that. There is one shot where he's showing his hand
Touching the
on
chemicals.
The chemicals.
Touching the chemicals.
His bare hand.
He's not wearing gloves.
He's not wearing gloves. His
gloves.
bare hand is on
He
the
stashes the
chemicals.
chemicals and he's not wearing a glove.
And he
And that would've
put,
killed
I
him.
saw that. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like if they're going to investigate and they know that those are the chemicals that killed him, and they just put fingerprint powder
Yeah,
on
and
the
he
chemicals,
puts it underneath the kitchen sink.
which no one else
Got
would
you.
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the people come and investigate, they don't find that. They don't do nothing. They literally don't say anything about it.
They didn't
Yeah.
do basic forensic investigation.
Literally
into
the
this
most
crime.
that was the one thing I was like, all right, if you'd have just showed a glove,
Yeah.
a glove,
You had to do.
one glove,
I know
it
you
would
could.
have been
I know you could CGI that in
Yeah.
at this point, or like AI it in. Like,
anything. But they cleared in the shot.
Yep.
It's literally
Oh, I went
bare hand
I
on
went-
chemical.
I went
That's
looked.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
And I was, and that was when I was just like, all right, because they made sure to show you that shot and nothing else.
So they were trying to show the importance of it.
Yeah, they
but not
showed
show
you what the chemical.
fullness
Yeah,
of
but
it.
like I was like, why was his bare hands on that?
maybe editing time. You know,
It's
maybe they were
called lack
rushing.
of attention to detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Is what it
otherwise
is.
it would have been fine.
So
They Loki probably noticed in editing was like,
Yeah. yeah.
so in
We
this,
did it.
in this
We have
movie,
a budget.
like in the first one, he like ends up getting with the second cousin's girl. In this one, it's like I like made a TikTok about it. It's like the most cringe meet cute shit you've ever seen, where like, you know, like he's getting to know her and you're like, what do you do? He's like, oh, she's like, I'm gonna be a teacher. He's like, oh my God, do you read like David Copperfield? And like they like finish each other's sentence and shit. And like in the original one, she's married. She's like actually married to the dude. And like here it's clear like she doesn't even like the dude. It's like one of those like stereotypical like, oh, douchebag boyfriend
Got
and
money.
like yeah, and they just like fall for each other immediately. And like, you know, she was like, oh, I was gonna leave him anyway. But like in the original, like what endears her to him is that like he actually like tells her about how he was excommunicated from the family, and she feels so bad about that like she's the one that like invites him to stay with them so that he could get closer and actually has the opportunity to kill her husband. So it's like that genuine empathy that she had is much more important. It like really fleshes out like her character. He also says that like she's kind of like he's like she's like wifey material because she's like at a higher status than like the girl he's in love with, like even
the
like,
OG girl.
Yeah, the OG girl.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
like she's like wife material. And even after the husband dies, like she talks about how people say that like he was drinking again, like that it was like, you know, like he was actually like a drunk and he was like just hiding it from her. And like, you know, he plays a nice guy and he's like, oh no, I'm sure he you know, he wouldn't lie to you like that. And she's like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, and so he's like, oh, she's like loyal. Like even if everybody's like saying like your man's doing this, like she would rather believe the lie. He's like, I need that.
She's a real one,
He's like,
essentially.
she's a real one.
Yeah.
She's like a ride or die. She's like genuine. So
Yeah.
that is what like endears him to her, and says like, oh, I should play the long game with this. So he like just stays like close with her afterwards.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's good thinking.
Yeah, and just like much more well written.
Yes.
Just like so much like, you know, much deeper characters, much better motivation, much, you know, like just makes more sense.
Also, you enjoyed this moment a lot, I see.
I just enjoy after when you watch something that is totally devoid of logic, to see
Yeah.
the exact same story with all of the logic baked in. Like people like to say that I'm too hard on all these movies that I watch.
No,
And
they say
like,
that about
and-
you, Jeff?
And that it's and then like, oh well, if you had all these details, then it'd be a documentary. Then it, you know, like it's impossible to put all these details. But yet then I watched this original movie that has all those details in it,
Yeah.
and it's the exact same runtime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, it is possible.
It is possible.
I do feel like with different films, I feel like they were spoon feeding stuff more so 100 years ago versus now. I feel like it's just more like shock value, like boom. That's what I was asking about the killing scenes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what maybe they were trying to.
This movie made me feel like, you know what movies are like now? It's like improv. It's like I have to have the same level of like imagination and
Yes.
like buying into your reality as going to an improv show.
Yes.
I have to yes
Yeah.
and every single thing in this movie.
Yeah, I think they're expecting the viewer to do a lot of the work to connect the dots. Yeah.
I got a
Yes.
and
Yes,
everything
and,
in this
yeah.
movie.
I'm sorry, but that's your job. Like to
Yeah.
be a movie maker, like a filmmaker, a screenwriter, like your job, the difference between you and improv people is that you need to write a story that I could buy into. You need to work out those details.
Yeah. But the improv people, we know you made it up on the spot, so it's whatever. But
I watch improv shows that are more believable than this one.
Yeah. This is something I kind of do notice now in present time about like present films. I watch a lot of old films routinely. And I'm going to count an old film as any film that's literally before 2015. Because
I like 1990 or something.
Nah, because like after that, the movies start. There's a shift.
So then back to Margaret Qualley's character. All right, so the girl
What's
that
her
he's
name?
Margaret Qualley.
Okay.
I might be saying it wrong.
No, you might be right. I don't know.
That's okay.
The first time I thought you said Margot Robbie, so I was like,
No.
okay.
Call her Margaret.
There's another Margot.
So in this new one, bro, did it feel like she was just like popping in randomly to the story?
I thought that was the only thing she was doing was popping in.
like it was literally like he hasn't seen her since she's a kid. She walks in the suit store, like, oh, I'm married. Then like random, you don't see her again until like he's working at the bank or whatever, his like uncle's bank that he met at the funeral.
Yes.
And she just hits him up randomly like, hey, like I heard you're working at that bank now, or whatever place it is, because at some point he says it's not a bank. So she hits him up and she's just like, hey, like you can like ask me out, if you want. And he's like, oh, do you want to go out? She's like, no, I just got back on my honeymoon, but like, like just keep thinking about me. And then hangs up the phone. And I'm just like, what the was that? Like,
I actually did say what the was that?
These are not real interactions. These are just like, it's just like random filler to like have the character there. And
so you don't forget her.
And then like later, she just like pops into his office like once he's like gotten a promotion, and she's like, hey, my husband's like a idiot who ruined his business. I need money. Like, can I like suck your dick and get money from you? And he's just like,
those are the lines?
No. She said no.
I watched the wrong movie.
Well, no. She says it more eloquently. She says
more poetically.
She says, how about we do something under the table?
Yeah.
Oh, completely different.
Yeah. I need to keep remembering my nieces will probably watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, not literally.
Well, kind of literally, but not like,
Yeah.
But he's just like, that's when he says, this is not a bank. And like in the original, it's a bank.
Yeah.
So it just does not why did they make it not a bank? And then he's just like, I can't do that. And she just like takes one of the keys off of his like key ring and just like, it's like, well, you should like act on this because the offer may go away at some point. And then walks out of the room. And it's just like, what the was that?
Did they show us her taking the key off?
Yeah.
Okay.
He watches her do it. And then she tosses the keys back. And then jump to like, he's on the date with the other girl.
The good girl.
Yeah, or she's like he's like at his apartment, and she's just like there, like Margaret Qualley, and he's just like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I took your key off your chain right in front of you. Don't you remember that? And he's like, oh yeah, you did do that. Like, who lets somebody just take their house key?
Yeah, that's when I was kind of also how you got back in your house.
Yeah, right. Like, I guess get another key, but like, and then she's like, hey, you need to like give me this money. And he's like, no. And then like gets a knock on the door. He's like, you gotta leave. And like just shoves her out of the apartment and then like goes on the date with the other girl. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is this relationship? It doesn't make any sense. It's not defined. Like she's just like popping in every 20 minutes.
Does it eventually get more fleshed out?
No. So again, back to the original version. This was a girl that he was living with. And not only that, but like there's this like running kind of joke that like after she gets married to the other dude that like he never liked, like she is not happy with him. He's just so dull to her. And he's like constantly still trying to get in. And so he just keeps ripping this dude every chance he gets. And the insults he throws, it was like one of the best parts of the original story. The insults that he has against this dude are hilarious. He's just flaming this dude. The whole dynamic of this movie is that he's like been trying to get this his whole life, and like, he's actively working on that. But like the real interesting thing is like in the original movie, he's the one that starts manipulating her, because once he starts ascending, he realizes and he meets the other one. He's like, you know what? Like, I like this one better. So he's hooking up with the one who just got married for pure satisfaction and revenge, while trying to eventually wife up the one he widowed. And in his mind, he's like, you know what? Like, this bitch didn't want me when I was poor, so like,
Back
Fuck
when you
her.
did
Yeah,
want
yeah.
me, all right.
I'm gonna, you know,
That's right.
yep. I'm gonna take what I want. I'm just gonna toss it.
I'm
I'm gonna toss it off to the side when I'm
I
done.
got it now.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
living this
yeah.
luxury I got.
Exactly,
I can't
exactly.
Exactly.
So like, and again, that like, these are like two different characters. Like
Yeah.
it makes so much more sense. It's like so much more history to it. There's like,
So much more humanity to it. Yeah.
in the new one, she asked him for money to bail out her husband, and he says no. In the original one, her husband comes in to re-up his loan that he already had with the bank, and he literally looks at his books. He's like, this dude is failing. He knows it before his wife knows it. He's like, this dude is failing. And he's like, but like, I would rather her buy her gifts. I would rather him be buying her gifts like with his loan money than with my money, because if I don't give this guy money, she's just gonna come running to me that much quicker.
Yeah.
So he approves her husband's loan just to keep her as a side chick.
Wow. So he thought that through. Yeah.
That's like next level, like
Boy,
boss right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like to not only have a side chick, but to be financing the husband of your side chick.
So you ain't gotta do it. Ought to take out your own pockets. Actually, I can
Yeah.
respect. You know.
He making sure he got everything under his control.
That's like,
Yeah.
and again, just so much more interesting.
Yeah.
It's just such a more interesting dynamic than like him just like
Seeing
being like,
her.
what the f- are you even doing here? Like, why do you keep bothering me? Okay, I know this pissed Terrell off. I know this pissed Terrell off. The FBI agents in this movie
Well,
are so incompetent.
I also didn't like that they made them black.
I was gonna say, are they all black also? But
Yeah,
they all
I didn't
black.
like
They're
that.
so incompetent. And like, yes, they're like, you know, like two of the only black people in this movie.
I think they're the only black people in this movie, and they didn't know how to do their job, and I did not like that.
It like so
Like basics.
So and he even
Niggas
brought
can't read.
and he-
Yeah,
and he-
literally.
and he even brought up how easy it would have been to like, so basically they pull up after the second one dies, you know, Zach Woods or whatever, and they're like, you know, and he's like, what's this about? And he's like, oh, you know, like dead rich white people, you know, we got to do our due diligence. And
That was the line.
no,
Oh, I thought you really said there. I said, okay, I can see why you were upset. Okay, no, sorry.
They said something basically like, you know, like a rich person gets killed, like, you know, we have to like investigate or
Okay,
something like
okay.
that.
yeah, two rich people die in the same family. Like,
Yeah, you gotta check it
triggers
out.
an investigation.
okay.
And they say, hey, do you stand to like, you know, inherit any of this money? Should like all these people, like, are you like in line for any of the inheritance? And he's like, I don't think so. And I'm just thinking like, they couldn't have like just figured that out before they started interviewing him.
I think, all right, so when I saw that scene, I thought at some point in the movie they were going to explain, because I thought, like, you know, they were going to be the ones that catch him. So I thought they were going to explain that they were playing dumb to, you know, get him. But then you just find out, no, they were just being dumb. Like, it didn't make it, one, you could look that up online probably. You could probably see who's inheriting what.
It would not be difficult to figure out. And you'd think before you interview the guy,
Yeah.
instead of asking him to just like give you the truth, you just look it up.
Such as law enforcement.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so you can actually hold the cards when you're doing an
Yeah.
investigation and like interviewing somebody.
And usually cops, like, they don't actually ask you. They tell you that you were going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to inherit this or whatever. So then you know, like, you get defensive or whatever. They kind of just, like, left it up in the air. They were like, no, you never heard anything like that? Like, I was like, what?
And he's like, oh, if I would, I'd quit my 9 to 5. And they're like, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go.
Yeah.
And then you don't see him. He murders like 5 other people. Then they reappear and they're like, so we did some digging and turns out you are in line for the inheritance. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, it took you 4 murders to figure this out. And then now you're coming back and like, this is your play, telling him that he is in line for the inheritance and then letting him go
that's it.
again.
Yeah.
And then they follow it, and then they track him for like, or they try to figure out his like location on the next one. And like all he has to do is give his suit to somebody, pay him to go get a hot dog at the same time that he's taking out the next family member. And then they like, or they're like, do you remember your alibi? And he like tells them exactly where he bought a hot dog at the exact time.
Like it wasn't like, oh, maybe I was out and about or whatever. He literally was like they were like, "Where were you at this time?" He went on his computer, and damn near had the footage of him going to get the hot dog at that time. It was like basically.
So they see a dude in a suit getting a hot dog, and they're like, "Oh, guess it checks out." It's like, did you not bother to check his alibi for the other murders?
Yeah. Also, why does he have a prepared alibi? Like that was weird.
He had the footage ready to show them.
Yeah.
Or they had it. Or they,
Yeah,
or
the
he
way they
knew
showed
exactly
it,
where to
he
tell
was
him.
on his computer, and I'm not saying that they cut to his computer showing it, but when he looked it up on his computer, the next scene is us seeing.
The next scene is like them in the investigation room, like watching the
suit hot dog moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's their only play. Like they're like, well, that clears it up, and it's just like, you like, how did he get to the Hamptons? Like he didn't rent any cars. He didn't like there's cameras everywhere.
And this is 2025. Yeah.
This is 2025.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah.
We have too much technology for this shit. Yeah.
It was way too much.
Which
Yeah.
is why you have to set the story in
Yeah.
1907 when it makes sense.
Well, I guess for them, they were just like, we make the cops black, and they're not good at their job. So
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, come on,
they
man.
said that makes sense. We never thought they were
Come
good at
on.
work. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they thought with that one. There you go.
Not the right representation.
Yeah.
Not the right representation.
So we won't make them the gangsters or killers. We'll make them incompetent police officers.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy.
At least they're in suits.
And these like roles are like largely like invented just for this movie, because in the original there are no police tracking them until the very end. Like he gets arrested. Like they lifted one scene directly, and then like it's someone from Scotland Yard who like arrests him. But that's the first time they're in the movie.
Got
Yeah.
you.
So they like
This was to say, yeah, we are doing diversity hiring.
yeah. I didn't want to say DEI, but like
That's what they were saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm like, if you're just gonna keep it all white, just keep it all white. I don't care at this point.
For real? Yes.
I don't care, bro.
Just keep it
Just
all white.
it.
Don't make me. Yeah.
Just make it good.
you guys can have this one.
Yeah,
You
you have
have
it.
it.
Like,
Just make it good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there were no black people in the bride. I didn't feel bad about that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So we progress all the way to where the last person, or like the two last people in line, it's like the one is the one who gave him the job, and
At
he's
the
like,
bank?
yeah, at the bank, and he's like, kind of like become close with him because like they've worked together, and like he gave him this opportunity and like promoted him all this way, and like in this one, like then he gets a heart attack, so he doesn't even have to kill this dude. He kind of like goes out on his own.
Naturally.
And like, bro, this scene just reminded me of like the movie Click, where he's like, you ever see Adam
Yeah,
Sandler
Adam
Click?
Sandler, I'm trying
Yeah,
to-
he's like lying on like his like deathbed or whatever. And he's like, don't be like me. Like, cherish your family. Money doesn't matter. Like, you should find someone you love. And like he basically says like, no one's even visiting me in the hospital. Yet like the entire movie, he's like such a well-liked man. He's like not even a jerk. Like everybody at this office like loves him. So like there's nothing to set that moment up. And then Glenn Powell's just all of a sudden like, oh my God. Like you have this like character switch, and like you have this like oh like he's turned a leaf and is so forced.
This wasn't justified.
I didn't mind this scene, but I mean, now that I realize I am adding things from my own interpretation from like, because they didn't put it in the details, so I just made up in my own head. I thought it was basically like when he was on his deathbed and he was talking about like, hey, like, have a family, like live life, and no one's here to see me. I thought the emphasis was the fact that he just had money, so the people were around. But now when he's in sickness, they ain't really there. He was well liked in the, or was it looked like he was well liked in the office or whatever, but like, yeah, it just wasn't explained.
Yeah, but it's also like you got to like see that in the character leading up to this point. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just like have him drop that line. You have to set it up with like a fully formed character.
Yeah.
But like, everything you show, it didn't look like anybody disliked him. It looked like people like actually genuinely liked him. Like they enjoyed working with him. Like he seemed like a good leader. He seemed like,
Yeah, I
And,
kind of
like-
realize I'm just adding the pieces in my own head as I'm watching something.
Maybe that's probably what they wanted.
Yeah, like they're not giving it to me, so I was just like,
I'm
I've
making
seen
it make sense to me.
I've seen enough films that I'm like, well, I know this should be this.
yeah, it's basically just an artificial moment to like let him turn over a new leaf and like become a good boy and be like, yo, I shouldn't be killing all my family members,
Got you.
Like, oh, you're right. Like,
There's more to life than money.
yeah. And not only that, but like he's also now has not needed the money for a long time. Like that.
Yeah, it was already set up.
Yeah, like that didn't need to be his motivation for a while. And there's even like one line where the priest's like, like, you have money and a girlfriend at this point. Like, why are you still doing this? And he gives some like nothing answer. He's just like, I don't know.
He's like, oh, that's what they wrote in the
I already
movie.
was doing it. Might as well finish the job.
He's just doing it.
I'm just filming a movie.
So then, of course, once he's turned over the new leaf and could just like get out and be fine because like the FBI agents are idiots who will never catch him.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Margaret Qualley pops up again, reinserts herself into this story, and basically says, I could tell that like you like were killing off your cousins, like so like I had a private investigator like follow
this part
you.
bothered me.
and she throws down these photos of like pictures of him like basically at every murder scene, and it's like, so not only are the FBI incompetent, but Margaret Qualley with a private investigator has managed to find him out more easily than these two black FBI agents.
Yeah.
And she did nothing about it.
And no. So now she's blackmailing him
Yeah.
to basically what she says is that this part also just makes no sense. She says he has to give her a down payment.
It's like 400,
yeah,
400K.
Like to for her husband because his business is still
under.
failing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she says that he needs to kill the last family member, which if you have blackmail on somebody who is basically now running a bank, why would you want them to risk getting caught? In which case,
You lose the
you
money.
lose
your
the
money.
leverage and the
Yeah.
money. You could just blackmail him for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's no motivation there.
That would be too logical.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
And in my
course.
head, I was like, she's just going for all the money. Because that's what I started thinking. I was like, she's going for the whole thing.
But like,
But I made that up.
yeah, exactly. You have to just like make
I'm filling in the blank.
You're just like, oh, well, if he gets all the money, she gets all the money. But like, no, she's got blackmail leverage on him,
Yeah.
and now he runs a bank.
Yeah.
Like, she could if he could take money out of the bank to give to her husband now, he could probably do it whenever.
Yes.
So you could hold this leverage over him.
Well, he did say there was a little side character that was there. When Glenn Powell told him that he was like, hey, send her the money or whatever. The side character was like, I don't even know if I could do that or whatever. So there was that little bit.
Which also like is pointless because like why are you putting that hurdle when you know he's going to do it? Like the
Yeah.
hurdle adds nothing to the story, and in the original the hurdle's not there.
Yeah.
So it just like it's one of those things that just has no point whatsoever.
Did you do the blackmail part in the original?
So it's a different way. So of course, in the original one, he's been sleeping with her, and the husband, like who he's been financing, like needs, he's blown through all that money, and at this point he's about to get married to the widow.
The ride or die.
Yeah, the ride or die.
Okay.
And she basically figures out that she's the side piece now, and like tries to blackmail him by saying that like her husband found out that they were sleeping together.
Okay.
And he's going to divorce her, and like the only way to like to silence him, because like if he like files a divorce and then like cites this dude as like committing like what's the word, where you adultery or
Yeah.
It'll be bad for him.
That's like Hamilton.
Yeah. Yes. Basically.
Literally,
Yeah.
Hamilton
Yeah.
is a fair thing.
But the husband had already earlier tried to get money from him, so he knows she's lying.
Got you.
Like he like basically pled to him like on his knees like, please, I'm begging you, and he like like had this moment where he's like you suck, like like you never looked at me twice when I was poor, and now I got this money and we're these old friends that like have this history together, and like no, get lost.
Yeah.
And like that's when they get into this scuffle.
Like an actual fight?
Yeah, like the dude talks bad about his mom, and he's like, "Oh hell no," and like gives him some shots, and like leaves the dude crying.
This is the OG film.
The OG film.
Yeah, this scene in this film doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but in the original, it makes so much sense. And then she tries to blackmail him, and then he like calls her bluff, and is basically like, "Bye," like like you're like not gonna work. Bye. Like I could tell you're trying to pull one over, and so that like, and so in the new one, not only does she, on this exact moment, blackmail him, but coincidentally, right before that, he got a letter from the last relative who never sees anybody, who's played by Ed Harris, who's just like, come to have dinner at my house tonight. Yeah. And it's also the night of his engagement party.
Of Glenn Powell's.
To the
Asian girl.
The gentrified ride or die.
Yeah. Not the gentrified.
And so, like, you know, all these things coincidentally happen in this moment. Like how she knew, how, like, you know, the blackmail girl, like, you know, knew that he would have this opportunity that night to, like, actually finish it. Who knows? Like, she shouldn't.
Intuition, yeah.
Yeah, right.
She would hide the PI she's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. One thing about that scene, though, with the blackmail, and this is probably, you know, maybe it'll come up again at the end, as far as, like, the FBI goes. When she shows how she had hired a private investigator, and they cut to the scene of the dude taking the photos. There's a scene where Glenn Powell's walking in, like, I don't know if it was like City Hall or whatever the open area was, and the man that takes the photo of him jumps in front of his face, like inches, like no difference, like me and you right here. And this is how he takes the picture. And Glenn Powell walked past him without noticing.
That's why I was up in his face.
This man was even. I would scream if this man. If I see somebody just jump to the side and take a photo of me, like, what are you doing? But Glenn Powell just kept it moving or whatever, and like that was how they showed it to us in the film. Like, I was like, that was not alarming. He didn't think anything of it. You're about to commit a murder and a man just takes a photo of me. I'm going back to the car. This is not a good day to do the murder.
I know that, but like every single murder that Glenn Powell pulls off, like all he needs to do is put on a different outfit. And he's able to infiltrate whatever he needs to infiltrate. Like one of them's like, you know, like a pilot who's about to do this like crazy like pilot stunt, and he just like rolls up in the same outfit as the assistants and like hands him a coffee that somehow he knew that he would want to drink right before getting onto this plane that has poison in it. The other one is like he says like his aunt like, you know, got freaked out, so she installed all these security cameras in her house. How did he know that? How does he know all of this information about all of these people?
Yeah.
I'll say one other thing I didn't like, though, and this is probably all my points of things I didn't like. I didn't like that he introduced himself as the cousin every time before he murdered them, because that made no sense to me.
Well, he had to in the one because, like, he
the second one?
The third one, with the one with Topher Grace, because he, like, you know, held the sword.
Oh yeah, that one did.
He called him out because he knew he wasn't the journalist that he was claiming to be.
That one made the most sense because stakes were high. There was actually stakes in that scene,
except for the fact that like if he had a heart attack and he's in his office, like they're gonna look at security cameras. Yeah, there's gonna be security cameras everywhere, and not only that, but like in this moment, like Topher Grace grabs a sword and starts like violently hitting things and threatening Glenn Powell, thinking he's this different journalist. No one's going to hear that. That's not going to raise a red flag to anybody in any of the other rooms. Like, I heard like a big commotion. He was like chopping things with a sword and screaming at a dude who had just walked in here.
Who we don't know.
Yeah, but like that, we're not going to tell that to investigators.
Yeah. I was happy to see Topher Grace, though, no lie.
Well, you said Topher Grace. I said, wait, not
I was hyped.
Another amazing thing about the original that they gutted out of this one. In the original, every family member is played by the same guy.
What do you mean?
I mean, in the original, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the original Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old man, when he was younger, he does an Eddie Murphy and plays 8 or 9 different family members, just like wearing a wig, wearing prosthetics, like doing different voices.
Well, that was budget. I don't think that's...
No, that was like...
You know, it was character choice? You know, they wanted to do it that way intentionally?
Yeah, because it was dark comedy.
Gotcha.
Okay. It's a dark comedy.
Okay.
But not only that, like, it's such a better role than like all these other people. They're in the movie for 5 minutes and they're gone. Like Topher Grace has one scene and then that's it. Like all these other people, they have like one tiny little, they're not characters, they're caricatures. Yes. They come in, they be goofy for a little bit, and then they're done.
I thought that makes it more fun for the actor, but I can see why in this new adaptation they would get 8 different actors.
Yeah, I would get 8 different actors.
I would do that. I would get 8 different actors myself.
Yeah. That's hard to do, have one guy play 8 roles.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, the idea is that you find somebody talented and you give them something interesting to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
and then we get to watch them do it, and it's entertaining for us.
Yeah.
Because I did like all the acting, I would say. Even what's this guy's name?
Ed Harris
Killed it.
But even then, he's just like, he's such an afterthought in this story.
There's no real reason for him.
Like, he's just like, and not only that, but like in the original movie, he's not like the grandfather who like cast out the body. He's just another relative. So like, okay, in the original one, the way that he gets in with the last relative is that like he sees it as a duty to like tell his family member that he's marrying the dead cousin's wife. Because like, you know, that's seems like breaking a code.
Yeah,
you know. So he like writes him a letter to let him know, like, hey, before like
crazy.
this gets
That's
out
out
of the
of
public, like,
You can't do that.
yeah. Like, I just want to let you
Especially
know,
after
like,
popped them. Like, that's crazy.
yeah.
You
But
gonna
if you
kill
like,
him and take
like
his girl?
if you explained it, like, yeah, I got close with them, like, you know, in her grief, like, I consoled her, and then we kind of fell in love, like that, you know, like that seems like, you know, like something.
I wouldn't like it, but I mean, hey, it could work in a film.
It can't be
Work
in
in a
no black
movie.
families.
Thank you.
That cannot happen.
No.
I mean, yes, there's more options nowadays.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
back in the day, there were a lot of options.
Yeah. There was like one pretty girl in the town.
Yeah. She
yeah.
happened to be my cousin's ex-wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but not only that, but like, you know, in that time, like, she's not gonna marry anybody else. Like, you know,
True. She's a widow.
That is true. Yeah. No one's coming for that.
No one's
Yeah.
coming for a widow.
Yeah.
They think you're bad luck.
Yeah.
You have a cursed vagina.
That's like
Yeah.
spoiled goods. They're
Yeah.
like, no way.
yeah,
Your
exactly.
vagina kills men. Yeah.
So like that's what gets him into like, you know, to see the last relative who's kind of like way more secluded. And in that one, like they also just did a better job in the original one of like showing why each one of these people is like kind of evil and like, you know, just like, you know, like a bad person.
they
and
deserve
like,
it, kinda.
It's like somewhat more justified.
They justify why
Yeah.
they should die.
They got it coming.
Like, yeah, in the original, he goes and this person, like they go hunting together and like they come upon a dude who's like caught in a bear trap, and this rich dude has like man traps, like just to keep, because like his grounds has like food, like some of the trees and some of the vegetation, like there's like things people could eat.
Gotcha.
And he literally laid out traps just so nobody could eat the shit off of his land. And like they come upon a dude who's like, you know, like caught in a man trap. He's like, I thought man traps were like illegal. He's like, yeah, but these people, like, you know,
What's the man trap? Like, what is that made of?
like a bear trap.
Like a bear trap of you.
Yeah.
Somebody just trying to get some oranges?
Yeah.
Off the-
That's cold.
Yeah.
Dude, people are filthy.
Damn.
I know
Yeah.
you see these oranges, but if you touch them, I'm gonna get you.
That's why he said
And
eat
so-
the rich. So this is
And so the way that he kills the last dude is like, you know, the dude tells his butler to like move the land traps around after like somebody got snagged in it, so they don't know where they are, so that like, you know, like he could keep you know, they still work. Otherwise,
Yeah.
people would like figure out where they are. And after the butler walks away, he actually moves it again to like something that's like, you know, covered in brush. And then the next time they go out hunting, he's like, yo, I think I see something over there. And like gets the dude caught in his own man
trap. Oh,
his
that's
own
good. I like that.
his own man trap.
Yeah.
And then basically that's when and then like tells him what's up. He like, you know, basically like has his like moment where he's like smoking a cigarette. He's like, so I'm about to shoot you because
That's cool.
You in line.
you kind of screwed me over.
Yeah.
And I've been holding on to this. And, you know, like basically, and he also like positions the rifle. Like exactly, he's like, so if you dropped your rifle and it like hit the ground and like went off, like it'd probably be like right here. So again,
very well thought out.
They just put so much more effort into the logic behind all these things.
In the original version, did everybody screw him over, or he just feeling that way?
No, in the original one, they screw him over. It's more obvious that like they shunned his mother and him out of the family.
Okay.
Like, you know, his mother like actively tried to get back in, whereas in the new one, she didn't. Like
Yeah.
she just like asked to be buried in the plot, and they said no.
But does he have like a personal vendetta with each and every person?
Yeah, with the family at large.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, for sure. But then like when he meets them, like he sees like bad things about them.
Oh, and he's like, all right, but
Yeah.
you also did this.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
But they're just guilty.
And that's how he takes out the last person. In the new one, it's just like peak, just like complete like slop. It's just slop. So he got invited to a dinner party with Ed Harris. Of course, when he gets there, there's nobody there.
Just
he
him and
says
Ed.
because it's raining. It's just the two of them. They have dinner, and they have this like dumb conversation where he's like, "Oh, so you're doing good at this new job, huh? Probably had to take some people out along the way." He's like, yep, sure did. And then they literally like go into a gun room, and he's like, "Hey, look at this gun. Want to hold it?" And then he's like, oh, okay. He's like, and then he just points at himself like, want to do anything with this gun?
Ed Harris does this?
Yep,
it was literally
you
like
think-
as he's saying
you
it's
wanna-
verbatim.
Are you like, do you maybe want to pull the trigger, huh?
Yeah.
And it's just like, what is this? And like then like he that because he had his click moment and like he's a good boy now. That's when like all of a sudden we're supposed to be like, oh no, Glenn Powell's a good person. No, yeah, he killed 8 people, but like he doesn't want to now. Like he's changed. He's a good boy. So he's like no, and he's like, oh okay. He's like, you might as well go then. And like then he like leaves and all the doors are locked and it just turns into like a horror movie where now Ed Harris is chasing him with a shotgun. Mind you, he's in the bathroom like trying to hide, opens the door, Ed Harris shoots the door point blank with a shotgun.
The shotgun, he shoots through the door
and
misses him.
doesn't like maybe nicks him. Point blank shooting through a wood door with a shotgun nicks him maybe.
He didn't even shoot through the door. It was literally
door was
the
half
gap.
open.
Yeah, it was open.
Door was half open.
But he shot through the door though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a shotgun. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Something
And-
should have hit him.
Yeah.
Something would have hit you.
Yeah. Wait, no, he got hit in the arm, right? He got hit in the arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But a shotgun through the door, you down
Yeah,
for
you're
just
down.
a minute
Yeah,
or two.
you're down. Yeah.
You're not moving.
You're not moving.
You're not moving.
Not close range shotgun.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, and then it just turns into like, and of course Ed Harris is like lighting up his house the whole way. Like Glenn Powell's running and he's just bang, bang,
Just shotgun
bang.
pops.
Yeah, just because he has no regard for his own things. And like,
My thing with it was, if a man invites me over and there's a scene where he gives me a gun and he kind of invites me to shoot him, I can no longer give you that gun back. You gave me a loaded gun. You asked me to shoot you. Mm-hmm. I cannot give you this gun back no matter what. I cannot give you. I got to leave with the gun. Mm-hmm. This is me now.
yeah.
And I see you have 2 more guns behind you.
And he also like very clearly implied, I know you took out everybody in the family.
Yeah, literally that's the conversation. The conversation is basically, I know you killed everybody. So if you're here to kill me, kill me. But then he don't do it. And then it's like, what do you think? He not going to try to kill you?
Yeah.
You can't just walk out the door.
Especially if he knows you're killing people.
Yeah.
And then so we have this dumb little chase scene, and then like Glenn Powell gets like a bow and arrow that they like set up from the beginning when his mom was like, teaching him how to use a bow and arrow when he was younger, and like kills him with a bow and arrow. And like that's the big finish of this movie. And like this is the one time where they're like, oh, self-defense, like like
with the bow and arrow.
We can't pin it on him because this is clear self-defense. Yeah. And they literally let him walk away from the crime scene. Like he's like, it's my engagement party, I've got to leave. It's
Which
like,
I didn't know you could do that.
I think I think
I don't know
he
if-
would
yeah.
for sure be detained.
He would
for sure be detained.
If it's a dead body, yes.
If it's a dead body, they have had maybe like
They just let him
30
leave.
minutes to conduct an investigation, and they just like, well, clearly self-defense. Like he's got to leave, and they like omit the fact that like the butler would probably like honor
There's a
the
butler?
dead dude. Yeah, because
Yeah, he
that's
was
the
the
guy
one
who
who
locked him
locked him
in. So the butler would probably not say that it was self-defense. He would probably have a conflicting story and be like, oh no, like he's the piece of shit.
But the butler kind of
witness.
just disappeared.
They omit him from the story completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he just was gone.
He
after
just
that.
disappears.
They just erase that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then he goes to his engagement party that
After
like
just
covered in blood, and like he's missed it, and like of course the wife doesn't acknowledge the fact that he's covered in blood. She's just like, you've been hiding something from me.
Also, I don't think it should have started with, you've been hiding something. I should have been like, where the fuck you was
Where
at?
you was at?
Yeah, this is our engagement party. Everybody left.
Why are you covered in blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't no nosebleed.
Let's address the first part.
Yeah.
Not a hidden secret.
And like, you didn't text me right after like your uncle tried to kill you, or your grandfather tried to kill, like your grandfather just tried to kill you.
That's
and
why I'm
like
running late.
you didn't hit me up. Like
You just pulled back up like it was.
you just pulled back up like, we're all the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't call him once to check like we were.
No, she was hitting him up.
Nah, she did
Oh,
check. Yeah.
okay.
But
She's hitting
it was
him up.
also one of those things where there's no service at the at the house
Got you.
because plot convenience.
Yes. That's just how it works.
Yeah. Now that he's dead, they like become rich. Like him and his new
Yes.
boo.
Very
And
quily.
instantly.
comes through.
Instantaneously.
Instantaneously.
The funds just go to the account.
The funds, yeah.
Montage, money raining everywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
It's like they just zelled him. They
Yeah.
just zelled him.
No inheritance tax.
As,
No
as,
nothing.
soon, as, soon
No
as,
taxes.
as soon as they pronounced him dead, they zelled him.
Yeah.
And they show him and the new boo at this like
The governor's ball.
I literally
like,
watched
yeah.
it. It's like this like rich person like inauguration
Yeah.
or whatever. They call
Welcome
it,
to old money.
yeah, literally. It's literally that. It's
literally.
literally that. It's
Yeah.
like, and I in the theater, I was like, "What is this event? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening
It was
right now? What
literally
is this
that.
like wealthy inauguration?" They called it the New York Regency
Yeah.
Society or whatever. And of course, the reason it's in there is because in the old movie, he is now a duke. And so there is an official coronation
Yeah.
to becoming a duke, which
Yes.
makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
But sense be damned.
And I assume when you become a duke, it would be actually immediately.
yeah,
Correct,
like
yes.
within a day or
Within
a
so.
day, yeah.
Like, yeah, they
Because
hold.
when a king dies, they be king,
Yeah.
right then and there.
That is more expedited than
Yeah.
the legal system.
yeah.
You know?
Then we got to get you your money because you're now rich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
He got a Zelle payment. It was
Yeah.
fat.
So yeah.
So that's how it is. Man. We don't know yet because we don't got billions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's how it is.
Maybe,
We get
yeah,
$1
I
billion.
don't
They throw you a party.
Yeah.
Elon and Jeff be like, yo.
They give you your money next day. They give you your money next day when you're rich.
When you got
Yeah.
billions.
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't
I
been
don't
there.
know.
yet.
I don't know. I don't got a billion. I don't know.
Comment if you've inherited $1 billion.
Yeah, please.
Let us know if that's how it goes.
Let me
They throw you
know
a
how
party.
fast you get the money.
Time out. This is a brief interruption. For those listening at home, this is the point where my camera's overheated and stopped recording. So a bit of advice that I have, because I just learned this. If you're going to be streaming for long periods of time, you need to make sure that video or the screen is popped out and away from the camera to keep it from overheating. And I also bought like little fans that apparently you can attach onto your cameras to keep them cool like that. So the more you know. But anyway, back to the podcast. All right, we lost Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel had to go,
He didn't realize like what time it was.
and he had to go to work.
So all right, I'll tell you the difference. The difference between like the way that he gets caught at the end is like it's both. He's like caught for the girl that's blackmailing him, like his side piece. Like it's her husband, but like in the OG one, like what was it? So like he goes on trial, and like he's actually sleeping with her, and that's why everybody thinks that he did it is because like he was actually having an affair. He lied about it.
The motive is there.
to the woman that he like married and stuff. And like in the new one, like he wasn't sleeping with her. There's
Yeah.
no actual motive. And this part really pissed me off is that when he's in jail and the Margaret Qualley character like is like, oh well, I found his note and like it's literally the day before he's supposed to get executed.
Yeah.
I found his like and like one of the big things in both of them was like, yeah, if he was going to commit suicide, he would have left a note.
Yeah.
And like he actually did, but she hid it or whatever, or she found it later. And she's just like, well, yeah, like I'll show them the note. But she's like, you got to give me all your money. And I'm just thinking like, he's supposed to be executed in a day. They're going to do all the legal paperwork to transfer
Yeah.
all of his wealth to
an-
somebody else.
Another Zelle payment.
And they're not going to think anything of it when like right after that happens, she produces a suicide note. And he like, and not only that, but like you can't get off of death row in like less than a day.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I
No.
don't think so either.
But you know when that does make sense? In 1907,
Yeah.
when you're a freaking duke. And like,
Also, the death row was like expedited. He was like death row. Usually, you have some time. Like he was about
It
to get the
takes-
death
it-
penalty in like
death
a
row-
day.
yeah, and not only that, but like when you have that much money, like you're escaping death row. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna push this thing so long,
yeah,
so
yeah.
far into the future.
Yeah.
And like
They were ready to execute him next day.
they're ready to execute him the next day. And not only that, but like he gets off of death row
Yeah.
in like literally like half a day or whatever.
Like 2 phone calls.
Like that part drove me crazy. So in the original one, what she basically says is she says, I'll give up the note, but like you have to promise to leave your wife. Because in the new one, he doesn't end up marrying her.
Okay.
So that's why he could transfer all the wealth. Because if he married her, then obviously he can't give the blackmailer any of his
Yeah,
money
yeah,
because he's married. It's
Yeah,
like
it's gonna go back to
it's
the
like
wife.
joint
Yeah,
account or whatever.
Yeah.
And in the old one, he is married, so she's like, you have to leave her so that you can marry me. Like, that's how I'll let you off.
Okay.
And so he gets out of prison in the old one, and there's this really interesting shot. He gets out of prison, and he looks to one side, and it's his ride or die, like there to pick him up. She never left him. And on the other side, the other one's there waiting too. So it's this big choice, like, you got to pick now.
Yeah.
She stood by him because that's her character. And in the new one, of course, like his new girlfriend just dumps him.
Yeah, she was out of there.
She's just like, no, you suck. Like, even though you didn't cheat on me, I'm just going to assume that you did. And then, like, Margaret Qualley's just like there to swoop him up. Like, because why would she even like care about him anymore?
Yeah.
Like that part doesn't even make sense.
She just stayed on it the whole time.
She's just there to be there.
Yeah.
But what happens in the old one is right as he's about to pick, somebody comes up from a newspaper. He's like, hey, can I get your quote? We're about to like publish your memoirs. And he's like, what do you mean publish my memoirs? And then he realizes that all the memoirs with him retelling the entire story for that last day, he left them in the prison room. And how they have all the evidence of him confessing to all of the killings.
Nah.
You see the shock on your face?
Yeah.
That is what a good ending is supposed to do.
Nah.
Uh-huh.
You're excited to get out of there. You
And
just left
so
it all behind.
he failed.
Yeah.
That's the end. Like
He
the
butchers himself.
The last shot
Yeah.
is of the memoirs still in the room.
Yeah.
Like he played himself.
Yeah. Oof.
Also, what's amazing about the old one and like the conclusion of the story is that like in the old one, the money goes to the one good person in the story. It's like his ride or die because once he gets caught, she gets to keep the money.
Oh, really?
Well, she's not. Yeah, she's his wife.
Yeah.
And if he's in jail,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
they're still married. So like you get that kind of like happy. Like it kind of ends where like all is kind of as it should be. Like,
Yeah. She was a good person, so it's okay that she got the cash, and she really had nothing to do with his family anyway and his murders.
Yeah, she was just kind of caught up in it. She was
Yeah.
just innocent. And of course, in the new one, it's just like, oh, well, you don't like the story. Well, that's the way the world works. And it's just like, no, it's not. Like, shut up. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, like bad people get away with it, but like, not in this bullshit. Like,
Yeah. Was it also instantaneous when in the old version when they're going back and forth of like the releasing the letter and stuff?
yeah. But of course, in the old one,
It makes sense because it's old time.
it's 1907 and
Yeah.
he's a duke.
Yeah,
Of
you're going
course,
to like what the sheriff or I don't know.
Yeah. Like they're handing a letter over.
Yeah.
And they're
The
like,
guard.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll stop this. But
Yeah.
like, there's no bureaucracy or like way less bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like his stature supersedes all the bureaucracy because he's that important. In the new one, he's just like a rich person on
Another one of the many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just another rich person on and like. Realistically, you shouldn't have that money that quickly anyway.
Yeah. That part didn't make the montage of that didn't make any sense. That was like a whole like let's just wrap it up and get on with it now.
Yep. Let's just give Glenn Powell another movie to do what with, like.
I haven't seen a lot of his films. Actually, this might be the first one I've seen. No, I saw the dating one.
Oh, with Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah, I did not like that film.
Yeah. All right. I think now we should wrap it up.
Yeah. This was fun though.
Yeah, right? It was
Yeah,
fun.
that was cool.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do it again sometime. Maybe Terrell or maybe Marcel will watch the right movie.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll pick something.
We'll pick something and we'll put it in super big bold text so that Marcel has no, like
No,
doubt.
just no options. Just
no
Well,
option.
yeah,
we can't bring up multiple movies in the text.
It just got to be. We're gonna watch this. Everybody, just check it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just flat, and then he'll
Yeah.
see and he'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. I don't know if there's like an ending note or whatever. You just wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right. Cool. This is fun.